Hello everybody, welcome back to Minecraft Opportunities, the series where we take a look at Minecraft and try to find opportunities where it could be improved. Today is something very near and dear to my heart. We are taking a look at the starter room in Mineshafts, aka the Dirt Room of Sadness. Now, this room is called the starter room of the Mineshafts because this is the origin of all Mineshafts. Basically, the mineshaft starts to generate in this area, and then it branches off from here in at least one, but up to four branches. And in this room, you can see there is just dirt, and that's it. That's all there is. In the starter room of the mineshafts, there's just dirt. And compared to the mineshafts themselves, as you can see, if we walk on over here, we have just dirt in this room, right? We have an archway on the top as well, which is the only real feature of the room. But if we walk through the mine shafts here, we'll see some stone, we got some rails, we got some planks on the side, we got some cobwebs up here, we got some granite down here on the floor. If we make our way down here, we should probably find, some gravel here. There's some andesite here. We got some ores on the side and the walls. We got some fences here on the sides as well. If I make my way through here, we should find somewhere around here. Let's just see if we can find one. We have an abandoned mine shaft right here with some cobwebs concealing a cave spider spawner. And let's see, we find down here a minecart chest with some good stuff in here. Some glowberries, some detector rails, some bread. You can also sometimes find diamonds and things in here at random. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the mine shafts themselves are significantly more interesting than just this room, where we have, as you can see, dirt, and that's it. So here are our goals for this project, given the state of the current dirt room. Goal number 1, make the room more interesting. I think we can all agree that having every single starter room in every single mineshaft in every single world be barren, flat dirt is unacceptable. We need to make the room look at least somewhat more interesting. Second thing we want to do is implement aspects of the mineshafts in the dirt room. Reason being is because currently there are none. It's dirt. Third thing we want to do is incentivize players to find this room. This will provide a sense of adventure to the player and make this room worthwhile to find in every mineshaft. This is something that makes sense given that this room is the biggest room inside each and every mineshaft, and every mineshaft has one of these rooms. Finally, we need to remain true to the original feel of the room as a centralized room. That is, we don't want to change too much, and we want to make sure that it feels as if it fits in as the centralized point, the core of the mineshaft. With those things in mind, let's take a look at some opportunities to improve the dirt room. The first opportunity for us in this dirt room is logs. We want a pile of logs somewhere. Why, you ask? Well, because the majority of mineshaft structures are actually wood. We got wood planks everywhere, we got wood fence everywhere, and we also have some logs as supporting structures now as of 1.17. So it makes a lot of sense that the wood maybe was stockpiled in this large room that is currently totally empty. So let's go ahead and put down a few logs here. So something like this I think would make sense. Just a little pile of logs like so, piled up like that. So there's 16 logs in total there. Nothing too major, but just a little detail to the room. And these logs should also be swapped out depending on what type of mineshaft it is. We're underground now, so it's oak wood. But if it was a mesa mineshaft, then we want the dark oak wood here. And all these would be dark oak logs instead of the current oak. So that is the first thing I would add to the mineshafts that I think makes a lot of sense. Next up, we want to incentivize the player to find this room, and we want to make it more of a reward than finding the minecart chests nearby, because unlike the minecart chests, there's only one of these dirt rooms per mine shaft, so it should be more special than the minecart chests. And let's be honest with ourselves, the minecart chests don't have that great of loot anyways, especially when you're down here mining for ores, comparatively speaking. For instance, this one, as we saw earlier, this has 0 ores in here. So it has none of what you're actually looking for if you're down here to mine in a mine shaft. So let's change that and provide a little bit of a sense of adventure to finding this room within the mine shaft itself. So to that end, I propose adding up to 10 raw ore blocks of either iron, copper, or gold to the mineshaft. So the proposed structure looks like this, and this would be made out of either iron, or it could also be made of copper, like this, or it could be made of gold, like this. And the thing is, I say up to 10 ore blocks, because what I propose is that each of these individual blocks has a 50% chance of spawning in. So, for instance, a typical spawn with this feature would be like this. So we'd have only 5 blocks. So we remove 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be like a typical find right here. So the light particles, they indicate where air spawned in, and the rest of these are your ore blocks. So you'd, on average, get about 45 raw ore blocks, which is not a lot, but it is kind of significant if you're exploring these mine shafts in the early game. It gives you a little bit of a boost to your mining, which you're already doing, and it provides an incentive to come and find these areas, as you might get, up to 10 blocks of raw ore. Of course, on average, you could get more or less. You could get unlucky and get like 2, or you could get super lucky and get, a whole bunch. Like you got like 9 here, for instance. You could get really lucky with this. And so that would give you up to 90 raw ore. Now, you might say, hey, this could be overpowered, right? Like, what if you, day 1, got into a mine shaft and found 90 raw ore? Well, I mean, that's a good point, but the thing is, now in Minecraft 1.18, you can find ore veins, which have ore blocks in them as well, and they actually have significantly more ore than what you find here. So in conclusion, I think this idea is not overpowered at all. You could easily get the same amount of ore in just a couple minutes of mining in the mineshaft, but it does give you a nice little boost, whether you're a max level player or a beginner player, like starting out in a new world. Gives you just a nice little boost in terms of resources, and yeah, also provides a nice sense of adventure to find this mineshaft room. Next up, let's talk about other unique things that could be added to this room. First of all, let's talk about chests. So there are 2 chests in most dungeons, so why not 2 chests in here? And let's say that we have unique rewards in here. So what if these chests had a chance to contain some of the other record discs not found in typical dungeon chests? So if you don't know, the only discs that can currently be found in dungeon chests are Cat and 13, and that's pretty much it. So that's kind of a mystery why that's the case, but there's a lot of other good music discs in the game that you can only get currently from a skeleton shooting a creeper with an arrow, with the exception of Pigstep. Pigstep is actually one that's found. But what if you could actually find those music discs in this central room? After all, if somebody's taken time to dig out these mine shafts, right? Taking a lot of time to dig these out and put down wood and put down structures and supporting pillars. Maybe they would jam out at some point to some music. So maybe these chests have some chance to have a non-Cat or 13 music disc inside of them, which would give further incentive for the player to find this room and explore this, and also open these chests to look for loot. Because at a certain point, dungeon loot basically becomes irrelevant, with the exception of an enchanted golden apple, and this would possibly keep these a little bit more relevant for longer to more players. So I think with that, with the increased loot in the chests, and some unique items like the music disc, plus the raw iron, or raw gold, or raw copper blocks here, I feel like this provides a good reward for miners, whether they're just starting out in the world or well established. So at this point, we need to talk about the aesthetics of the room. I will say that already, just with, the ore blocks, the chests, and the logs, already this is looking significantly better. Like, you cannot tell me that this does not look better than what we started with, which was just dirt. This is 100% better already. I just wanted to point that out. But the dirt room and the floor itself in the dirt room, I think could be significantly improved over the barren dirt floor look. So it's possible to maintain this floor of dirt while making it look significantly more interesting. The reason is there are now multiple types of dirt. So if I just type in dirt here, you see we have a dirt path block, we have rooted dirt, and we have coarse dirt. So you could use a combination of these dirt types to produce a much more interesting floor while keeping true to the dirty nature of the room itself. So let's just go through and we'll just put down like 50% path blocks, 25% rooted dirt, and 25% coarse dirt randomly throughout this room. So let's do that. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. A improved dirt floor here, which now looks a little bit more interesting. Shows off the significance of this room at the heart of every mineshaft. And I actually went with 25% of each of the dirt path, the regular dirt, the coarse dirt, and the rooted dirt. So yeah, it's a little bit different than what I stated before, but the point is, doesn't matter. The floor looks way better, right? Because it's not just barren dirt. That's the important thing here. That's the important takeaway. So with that now done, let's talk about potential other decorations beyond this. So if we added a little bit of extra decor to the room, we could add things like, for instance, a empty flower pot here and there, or maybe an empty flower pot with a dead bush in it to signify that, you know, this is abandoned, and it adds to the abandoned feel of the mineshaft itself. Other things like hanging roots could be interesting on the ceiling, just to give it a sense that, you know, things are starting to overgrow a little bit, and to, yeah, give it a sense that this place was long ago forgotten. Other things would include things that you find typically in the mineshafts. So for instance, like cobwebs would make sense here. After all, there's cobwebs everywhere else in the mineshaft besides the dirt room, so why not put a couple of cobwebs in this dirt room here? Doesn't have to be too crazy, you know. Just a couple here and there, just like so. And there we go. Alright, so there's that. But let's keep going here. What other crazy things might make sense to have in the mineshaft here? Well, it might make sense to have things like a bed. So for instance, if I put like a bed down here, makes it feel like somebody was here in the past, right? Somebody in the past who may still be exploring the mineshaft, right? That could be an interesting thing. Or perhaps maybe a damaged anvil that was used to repair tools in the past. Another idea for decor is to have pumpkin, melon, and beetroots growing inside of this room on random occasions. So there are actually pumpkin, melon, and beetroot seeds that can be found in the minecart chests. So maybe it makes sense that long ago somebody planted them and forgot about them. And there might be a melon or a pumpkin or some beetroots growing in here currently. This final idea is kind of out there, but I think if implemented, it could be pretty amazing. So if we had, for instance, a written book that spawned only in these mineshaft chests, either one of these with the random chance, and this book was kind of mysterious, right? Maybe there's some obfuscated text with it. Maybe there's some standard galactic alphabet written inside of it. And perhaps if we translated the standard galactic alphabet, this could lead us to an area in the mineshaft where there was a ore vein. Like, let's say the nearest ore vein is found, the coordinates are found in here, but you have to be able to read the standard galactic alphabet to actually find the ore vein. That would be super amazing. That would be, like, ridiculously amazing. I think that that alone could make this area worth it to find. But yeah, something like that, even if it just says some type of nonsensical saying in the standard galactic alphabet, similar to the enchantment table writings, that would be cool in and of itself, I think. So that is just another idea of something that could be located within these chests here in the starting room. So now would be a great time to update these dirt rooms, especially since it's been 10 years since they were last updated in the game. And the core principle of this is that it boils down to this. Would you rather have a room that looks like this, which is actually useful, or a room like this, which is barren, bland, and uninspiring? Would you rather have an experience like this when you walk into a mineshaft dirt room? Full of things to explore, things to mine, and unique things to find? Or would you rather walk into a room like this, which, again, is barren, desolate, with nothing of interest at all in the room itself? I hope that this video has convinced you that something needs to be added to the starter room in the mineshafts. After all, it's cold, dull, and boring right now, and it doesn't have to be that way. Also, I want to point out that this is by no means an exhaustive list of potential things that could go in the mineshaft room. Could be interesting if there was things like an archaeology brush that was found in the chest there, and you could then search the dirt for artifacts or unique items. That could also work. There are countless possibilities, endless opportunities for this dirt room in the mineshafts, but there needs to be something added somewhere, somehow, some way. So, I hope that this has convinced you of that, but for now, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this, and as always, thanks for watching. This has been Cub. Goodbye.